Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today we're going to have setup, play and review for the game Caesar by Paolo Mori and PSC Games as a publisher. Seize Rome in 20 minutes. Now you may have seen my unboxing teaser trailer preview overview video. You may have seen that I had mentioned that this is kind of the follow-up to the game Blitzkrieg, also by the same publisher and designer. You might know that I do in particular like the designer, and you can find other games by the publisher on the channel too. So let's do it this way around. So in this instance, we are set in Rome. This is at the time of the Roman Empire. You have two bags. They are different, interesting looking faces. So here we have Caesar and we've got Pompey over here. You've also got two shields, so you're going to have this behind you. I'll leave one of these face up just so you can see what I'll be talking about on the inside. And I will be mixing in some of the expansions. I won't be talking about the solo playthrough today. I may well do a solo playthrough, that's the plan. And I'll also be doing, hopefully, a regular playthrough of a two-player game. So picking a side, you're going to have red going first, representing Caesar. You're placing out these markers. These are control markers. In your back, you'll have influence markers. The aim of the game is to be the first person to get rid of all of your markers. Now, I've played this game quite a lot, and I'm number one for plays of Blitzkrieg. I don't know where I am presently, but I am in that double figures already for this particular game for Caesar. Now, that's relating to that second edition of Blitzkrieg. So in this particular game, you are looking to, like I said, get these control markers out. There are lots of ways you can do it, and ways of getting more and more out as well. If you want to see other videos as well, such as by the designer, there is Augustus or Rise of Augustus on the channel as well. So here we go, you're chucking these out. Now, in the other game, you're drawing 3 tokens. The base game of this, you draw 2. But as I did mention, I'll be talking about the expansions. So you're chucking out these tokens as well. And whilst I'm doing this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell, share, like, and let me know in the comments on YouTube as best as to what you think of the video and other questions as well. Also, there are occasionally competitions. Head through to Linktree, and they are time sensitive, so they do disappear. Also check out Instagram, there's link through to there, please follow too. Also head through to one other occasion, which is called, Facebook. So there we go, you do not place a token here, that's just why I want to pause. You do place what's called a forum token here. So I did mention I'm mixing in expansions. So what are the expansions in here, just in case you notice you'll have some tiles left over? Well, like I said, it is random, so you will be leaving out the poison tokens, which means you can take a tile back from somebody else, and you can actually win the game if someone can't play a token on their turn. And that is found in the Blitzkrieg game, but there's no expansion relating to that. And the Centurion token, which we'll talk about in a second. And in this instance, everything else can go back in the bag, and I think I added extra baggies to this as well. So speaking about the expansion, there's a few other tokens you can be laying out as well. And like I said, I will be doing a separate video just so I don't detract as to what I think is better. I've already got some view. I might actually tell you about the pros and cons of both, but I will give you a general rating that I do give for this game as well. As you can see, red and blue, they have the same tokens. And in this instance, what you're looking to do is you can play out basically a Centurion token instead of, when you can surround this, I'll get into what that means, instead of drawing again from your bag. So I'll leave those out for the time being. So what are you doing on your turn? Well, firstly, you're going to draw up. You're going to take 3 tokens. Let's put a more interesting box in the shade there. So you're drawing up 3 tokens. I might be able to actually zoom in again, just see if we can get a bit more detail. So here we are out on the board. Let's just say that I'm starting, like I said, as red, and I'll have 3 tokens behind my board. So what I'll do is just leave them on here. I think they're kind of visible. Everything else will go back in my bag. So again, that would be behind my player aid, behind my shield here. But in this instance, I think it's fine. So what can I do? Well, this is in 4K, so you can zoom in if you need to. So what can I do? I can place that wherever I want to, wherever I have a matching thing. So I've got a sword here. So I can go to a sword location. I have a boat, which means I can go on a boat location, and you can tell that's always by water. And there are other locations too. So you can see you've got shields, so you can go into a nice defensive space. And there are some other tokens on here too, which have like the laurel wreaths as well. So that can basically be a wild. Okay, so I'm going to pick somewhere to go. So let's say I put out some ships, and I don't know, I'll place it out here. Or maybe think of another option. I'm going to place it out here. Okay, so now I'm controlling this area by 6 and that area for nothing. And at the end of my turn, I'll draw up a tile. Now it's their turn. So now they're going to pick something as well. And let's just see what they pick. So let's just move all the board off to one side. And that looks really nice to have that in place there. Cool. So what else can I do? Well, I can now pick, obviously, it's their turn to pick. And let's just say they can place something next to it. So now let's say they go even and they play a 6 as well. Well, if it's a tie over here, what's going to occur is then nobody will be able to place a final control of this. I'll explain what that means in a second. So now it's my turn. I've still got some tiles left. So what will I do on my final turn? Well, let's say I've drawn up again, as I said. I'm going to place out another tile, and I'm going to place it so that I do control it, because I do have the right token for it. Now what happens? I control this. Two things happen now. I take this token, which is a forum token. It's going to go down here. And now, because I've controlled it, that means because I actually have more than my opponent, I get to place a disc on here as well, a control disc. However, if the opponent had more control than I did, so imagine I happen to do this, so on a prior turn, and then they control it, then they get to place their discs down. So I managed to take the yellow marker, but they managed to take the control marker. Again, control marker's winning the game. So now I've controlled the area, and now it's, let's see what happens next. Well, I did take, obviously, this token. This is a forum token, which means you take one of your own tokens and you put it under it. That's like an engine build, because if you have another one, you're going to place another one of these under it, plus one over you've already got. So it's basically like a Senate, and you're increasing your control and your power. So I've just been, now it's their turn to go, and let's just say I happen to go over here, which is a wild, so we can go anywhere you like. Now, of course, I would have drawn up at the end of my turn, and now it's my turn to go as well. So I happen to now go with, can I see if I finish it off? I can finish it off. Like I said, I'm choosing to now go for the Senate token as well. And now they happen to, I happen to close it. If you close it, you can take your token. This token means you get to go again. Sorry, it gets to take an extra token up. So now I get to draw an extra token. So I've got 4 I can pick from for my next turn. However, I do not have control. So I do have control, which means I get to place out one of my tokens, and because it's adjacent to a place I already have, I get to place another token out. So now I've managed to get out, in total, 4 of my tokens. That's a third of all the tokens there are that need to be placing out. Now it's their turn, and now they could choose to try and stop me from getting more adjacency. Maybe they do something else. What do these tokens do? If you manage to, again, be the person who closes off an area, then you get to take the token. In this instance, you get to flip a token, so a 6 is now worth nothing. So that's how that works. And the final expansion involves basically playing blind around 3 areas of the board where you have these ones. You do not know what you're going to win, and you're placing your token face down to take it. Okay, so it's a very interesting tug-of-war game. It's more direct than Blitzkrieg. I think based on, like I said, over a dozen plays of this game, I've actually found there's more risk in terms of luck. I find that you can be a bit dependent on certain areas, and actually you don't have what you need, which is a bit of a problem. Also, even though it doesn't look as nice, in terms of the board, I think Blitzkrieg looks a lot better. The gameplay generally, apart from that luck factor, I do prefer. But I'm going to give it a few more plays and try and get equal amount of plays approximately to make a decision. As I mentioned, the Centurion, if you surround an area, you get to take the token. And that can, of course, include the Centurion, which means you get a bit more of a stronger token. So that just goes and gets played, obviously, on a future turn, because that goes in your bag. Or in this case, a Centurion token will go out in front of you as well. So that is how the game works. It's nice. It's less worried about the admin of the to and fro. I find people are finding of Blitzkrieg as well. So that's quite interesting as well. And yeah, these are province bonus tiles. So as you can see, if you control Italia, what you get to do is if you happen to control the most, and let's just say you took a token as well, you're placing one there and you're placing one here. Plus, because it's a forum token, you're placing another one out. If you've already got some out as well, well, that's a quite important part of the game too. So a bit all over the place there, but hopefully that does make a lot of sense. That's all about the fact that in Blitzkrieg, you're trying to go up various different tracks. Over here, you're probably trying to work on combining and work on areas together. So that is the game of Caesar. That is seizing Rome in 20 minutes. Again, pretty much as quick as playing Blitzkrieg. A little bit of setup to do, but doesn't take too long. I like, obviously, the fact that there's those expansions, and that's straight off the bat. You don't have to wait. And I have played, even with one person, just a combination of various different, in fact, I've played every combination and played both sides at playing at, obviously, Caesar with all those different expansions, with and without certain bits and with various players. So, like I said, I like playing the different sides. Obviously, apart from that, it's symmetrical. There's no unbalancingness to it as well. So that's really interesting. If you have any questions, like I said, YouTube is always best. Aside from that, like I said, I look forward to speaking to you again on the next one. There are videos planned, as always, all the time. And look forward to, again, speaking to you when I do get some more stuff out. I did mention briefly, like I said, I will be doing a separate video on what I think of them overall, but crucially, I think there's quite a lot going for this one. So thanks for watching, and for now, back to the table.